Howdy folks, welcome to another beautiful day out here in Nanaimo today. It's actually just about, I guess, 9:30, sitting, waiting for the ferry, and it's just stunning out, so I thought I'll take a chance to make a video. In today's video, we're going to talk about crime. It's interesting. It's over the last, there's statistics coming out so far this year. There's already been 6 murders in Vancouver. There's been a murder in West Vancouver, a homicide, which is like the first one for a while. And I was chatting to some people yesterday about crime, and they were speaking more about the situation in Nanaimo, and there's homelessness and all of that. And to a lot of the locals or the Canadians and the people that grew up here or that's lived here all their lives, to them it's huge. I mean, it's to them, they see this increase in it and they're like, wow, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And we were having this discussion where, as a South African, to me, when you say there's been 6 homicides, it's like, okay, fine. That's something we do in a day in Joburg. It's not like it's that serious, and I was trying to explain to them that, coming from a place where there's a much higher crime rate and where there's lots more going wrong, understandably to us, this feels 100% safe. I mean, it is just so far away from what we used to. In South Africa, I wouldn't let my kids walk around at night or walk around the streets or city downtown places like that. I just won't. Here I do, and the kids are out, and Angelique, it's a different life. But at the same time, there was a time when things were like that. In every country that's got lots of crime, there was a time when it wasn't there. So the Canadians that are worried about the crime actually has a really good point. And as immigrants, and it's not just from South Africa, I mean, most people come here because they want something better. And most of the time, I've spoken to a few people, it's to get away from crime and corruption and hopefully come to a place where they have a better future. But we, as immigrants, also need to work really hard to protect that better future. And we really need to also start worrying about this crime and put our voices to it, because, a lot of us has gone through the process where it starts with little things and it's happening here, and then what happens, it starts with little things and people don't say anything and people don't do anything, and then you just get used to it and you hear things like, oh, at least nobody was hurt, oh, well, they only stole your stuff, you're insured, you'll get it back. That kind of attitude starts permeating, and they're saying that, and I don't know for a fact, they're saying that it is starting to happen in places in Canada, like Nanaimo specifically. They were saying, a lot of the crimes, the smaller crimes, don't get investigated. It's not like they're really going to try and catch these guys. We had the guys talking about the London drugs and the people coming in one of my other videos I spoke about that, where people would just walk in to the store, blatantly take stuff off of the shelves and just walk out. And it's happened to me 3 times now in the London drugs, where they had an incident where somebody stole, and they're not allowed to apprehend them. They're not allowed to stop them and ask them what they're doing, the staff. They must just let them go, call the cops, then the cops come, they've got cameras and everything. And not a lot happens to those people. And it is, man, it's a very tough situation, because if somebody really needs food and they steal food, then is it right to really penalize them for it? But then again, if I have food because I've provided for myself and I've taken care of it, and somebody steals it, does that person not penalize me? It's a morally very kind of a very gray area, I suppose. But anyways, what I wanted to get to is that we need to start taking this stuff seriously, because what happens is slowly but certainly it gets worse. If you let one type of crime go and you're like, okay, we're not going to prosecute people to do that, let's just let them, we're sorry for them, let's carry on, then they go, then the next thing happens, and then the next thing happens. It's just, it does snowball, it does kind of grow. And what's that story about boiling a frog, that example, it's probably nonsense, but they say If you put a frog in hot water, it'll jump out. But if you put a frog in cold water and you turn the heat up, it will sit there and boil itself to death. Now, I don't know how true that is, I must be honest. I've never tried to or hurt any frogs. But it explains the concept, because it does work like that. We get like stumped off where, you know, things we don't care. I mean, there were times in our lives where if somebody stole something from you, it was a really, really big thing. And like I said, in South Africa nowadays, like, oh, well, we were held up in an armed robbery. Oh, well, at least nobody got hurt. Let's carry on with our day. You know, it's just not, it's not a big thing so much anymore. And, you know, we need to, as new immigrants, help protect that lifestyle. And we need to also help people understand that, you know, the rule of law is one of the most important things. And I know a lot of people disagree with the rule of law and don't want controls. But unfortunately, if you let people do what they want, things get out of hand. In certain ways, we are over-controlling, or some of the laws here are a little bit over-controlling. But it's, you know, it's a difficult one. It's like, on one hand, I want to live in a country where there's a rule of law and that people can't cause trouble, and where it's like, you know, everything is properly controlled, as long as it's controlled in the way that I like it. So, which I guess is the problem that a lot of people have, is like, well, I don't like the fact that I can't buy a firearm, so now the rule of law is against me. Hey, we're all human, that's our thing, I guess. Any which way, so this is just a long rant. The bottom line that I wanted to get to is that as new immigrants, number one, we need to respect the laws of this country that we've chosen to give us a better life. We need to respect the people of this country. We need to throw ourselves into it, and we need to help protect this country, because, I mean, we all came here for a reason. And the reason we came here, it doesn't help that we, when we arrive, start breaking that reason down, you know, or start changing it to be more like back home where we kind of ran away from. So, anyway, some random thoughts. All right, folks, you all must have an absolutely beautiful day. We'll speak again soon. I'm about to hop onto the ferry in a little bit. Belinda says the weather on that side is a lot worse than here. So, yeah, an hour and a half ferry ride, and then we'll be at Horseshoe Bay, where Belinda will come and pick me up. All right, folks, have a good one. Cheers.